Let's go. That's all we gonna do, man. That's all we gonna do. Welcome to the Mad Lucrative Podcast. Look, the Lucrative Lounge Edition, huh? Your host, Magneto7 in the building. Listen, okay. It's very rare that I get somebody got another pod onto my pod. And I love when energy just is connected. And when we first got on, I was like, yo, is there anything you don't want to talk about? He's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about this. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go with that because I understand where you're going. You know, we don't want to make our significant others mad. But let's give a shouts out to the one, the only, Dion Campbell, a.k.a. King Legend in the building.
What up, y'all? How y'all doing?
How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm alive. I'm breathing. I mean, come on. You can't complain if you got that going on.
Hey. So, I did see, and we're going to get into your background. We're going to get into kind of what got you on the journey to podding, right?
Right.
Because I have had somebody on the pod before with the pod, but I didn't want to, how can I say it? I don't want to, I don't want to say it wasn't entertaining from what I looked at after I researched their pods, but it was very few of them that reminded me of what we got going on down here in Georgia.
Okay.
So when I saw your podcast, I looked through all of it. I was like, yo, the energy is great. It's nice. It's a positive vibe. It's not necessarily super political or, all that stuff. It's just, it's right there in the middle. Right there in the middle. I was like, yeah. So,
I appreciate that.
Tell everybody who is King Legend.
Man, where do I start? I'm King Legend 757. Yes, I do have a podcast. It's called King Legend Talks. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's King Legend. And the talks that I have with special guests on the platform, usually celebrity guests or influencers I have on the platform. You know, what I try to do on the show is basically just inspire other people, the listener, you got, to follow their dreams, because a lot of times people look up to these celebrities or influencers. They're like, oh, man, you guys are lucky. Oh, you guys got it made. And then you have to realize these are people just like me and you. We all have humble beginnings. We all start from somewhere. And so what I like to do on the platform is allow them to really just be them and just like, look, I ain't always have it like this. Don't get it twisted. You know, there was times I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. And so that's what I like to do on my podcast. That's what it's really all about. That's the root of it. Of course, the energy and all that stuff is good too. We have good vibes, good conversation.
Right.
Obviously, there's a lot of people you can relate to. You probably seen them in movies or whatever the case may be. Outside of that, a little backstory about myself is I did have COVID-19. Yes, I survived that. I was on a ventilator for 12 days in the hospital. So my chapter could have ended 2 years ago.
Sheesh.
That was before the podcast even started.
Okay.
So the podcast literally was born in the pandemic to give me something to do when I was like, all right, look, man, I'm going through it right now. My back is against the wall. You know, I had a whole career before that as a photographer. I was taking pictures of celebrities and all of that. And I was, my last concert I shot was actually the Baby, Pop Smoke, Gunna, Stunner for Vegas. I literally shot Pop Smoke's last performance before that situation happened.
Wow.
So just saying, I had a different life before podcasting. And that whole pandemic, the COVID, was like a humbling situation for me in my life. I was so ambitious. I was so focused on me. But after that, it became a selfless kind of identity that I was able to find. And now I'm all about others. And so that's a little bit about me.
Okay. I could dig it. Where are you located?
I'm in Hampton, Virginia. VA 2 up, 2 down.
Okay. Oh, you said 2 up, 2 down. Okay. Look, I know it's A-Town, whatever. Anyway. What's the climate of like the culture for music or entertainment up there? Because I don't know much about it.
I can't speak on other places. So I don't even want to compare it to other places. But you know, Virginia is famous for something in the water.
Right, for real. Shots
And
out.
exactly, and that's kind of like a summary of what the music vibe is out here. Like a lot of people that have these great talent, you know, it's sad to say they end up leaving Virginia to go somewhere else, and then other people discover them, and it's like, whoa, this person is dope. This person's fire. But they were really born and raised in the roots of VA, a lot of them.
Okay.
And so the whole something in the water thing really was a way to highlight the talent that's from our area. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Pusha T, Pharrell, Missy Elliott, Timberland. The
Mm-hmm.
list goes on and on. Allen Iverson, Michael Vick.
I did
I
not know
mean,
that.
yeah, the list goes on and on. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually the heart of where I'm from, by the way.
Mm.
757, that's what it means. That's my area code.
Okay.
So that's the
Got
heart
you.
of where I'm from.
Bro. Well, I'm from Carolina originally.
Okay.
So we were right there, we were right up under y'all. And I
Right.
remember, I think my aunt went to the Hampton, the college up there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know the name of it.
Hampton University.
Yeah, that. She
Yeah,
went
that's
up
in
there,
Hampton.
and I just remember some of them stories. That's like the 90s. I remember some of them stories, and I was like, oh, it must be, a little bit lit up there. And when I started doing music, I would go back and forth from Carolina to New York, Carolina, New York. And you can't miss VA. And the only thing I remember about going through VA, and I was like, yo, I don't know if it was it Richmond, it's one of them areas, but you get through the trees and them folk gonna pull you. You better be looking, you better be watching.
Those state troopers don't play. Virginia State Police do not play
Bruh,
at all.
I remember that. I was like, yo, okay. I don't ever want if I was like, as soon as I start getting money, we need to
Yeah.
be able to fly straight. I can't drive that.
I mean, you
drive.
gotta think though, because Virginia is kind of like in the middle when it comes to the East Coast. So
Mm-hmm.
you got people traveling from Florida to Delaware,
Mm-hmm.
from North Carolina to Philly, New York,
Yeah.
all of that. So you're getting people from north coming down south, and you got people from south going up north. So
Yeah.
Virginia is like that middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting people that's, hey, I'm still traveling. I'm along the way.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
ain't the stopping point. So it can get kind of crazy, meaning a lot of people don't know how to drive when they get out here.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So like you got New York got their own way of driving. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Half of the people in New
Speed.
York don't even have license. So the ones that do, they don't know how to act. Especially they from Jersey area.
Yeah.
New Jersey go crazy too.
Uh-oh.
So
Tracee gonna get you for them.
I'm sorry. But look, every time I go up north, they drive crazy.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'll be like, how disrespectful for you to cut me off. I'm going the speed limit.
Yep.
All right. Matter of fact, I'm going 10 miles over the speed limit. So
And
I
it's
know
still
you're going
slow.
crazy.
It's still
Right.
slow.
The speed limit is 65. I'm going 75. They get mad because they driving 90. My bad. I apologize
Yeah.
for going a little slower than fast.
Well, okay, so check it out. All right. So I know I'm kind of like you. I started the pod during the pandemic. My background was music, real estate, and then like construction.
Okay.
All kind of bottled up. And of course, a lot of my folk went crazy in the pandemic in a good way. Like
Man.
real estate was popping. It's popping. But for me, I know kind of how the curve comes, like '08. Everybody talks about '08 and you know how that was. And I'm like, okay, in the event that does happen, what can I start doing that can keep going even if this starts to crash? And podding was kind of my first thing because I'm kind of like you. I've always wanted to encourage people back to back through college, through high school, same thing. I ain't never changed, never changed up. So it was the perfect platform to start and transition into that. So my question is, now that you're podding, right? How is the family dynamic with you podding?
As far as like my direct family,
yeah,
they support it 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, is that what you meant by your question?
Well, I guess for them to transition how they treat your time coming from photography and the kind of secondary time versus
Yeah.
you podding, and even though you in the house,
Yeah.
it's work. You working still.
It's different though. It's different.
Okay.
I was you got to think when you're a photographer, you're on the go. You're gone
Okay.
out the picture to take a picture. You get what I'm saying?
That's a bar.
I have to be at these events. I have to be at these weddings, regardless of what time it is. And the type of photography I was doing was mostly nightlife. So you're thinking I'm out 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, versus now I'm still busy at 1, 2, 3, 4, but at least I'm home. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm working on a podcast. I'm doing a lot of editing. I'm doing things of that nature, but at least I'm home.
Okay.
I'm not too far. My wife still she got more FaceTime with me in person.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? So I think it's more healthy. And then plus now that I have a daughter, I'm able to be more active and involved.
Good. How old is your daughter?
She's about to be 1 year old in a couple of weeks.
Ooh, wee.
So, pandemic baby, miracle baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Actually, fun fact, when I was on a ventilator, I had a dream, a long dream. I was on a ventilator for 12 days, and people ask me this all the time. Well, did you see anything? Life support. That's basically what it is. So I'm like, well, I had this one long dream, and I do remember when I woke up off the ventilator, and they was, trying to, hey, what's your name? What's your birthday? Don't ask me all those questions.
Yeah.
I said, where my wife at? She in the other room. She pregnant. Go check on her. And she wasn't even pregnant. I was like, she's in the next room over. Tell my wife I love her. And everyone was all the doctors, they think you're crazy when you first wake up. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we got you. We gonna definitely tell her. She wasn't even in the next room. Like, I felt like I would have came back to my sanity quicker if they would have just been honest and upfront with me. But no, they tried to play it like she was really in the next room. So the first couple of days, I thought I was really like in this situation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that was one out of the many crazy situations that I had dreams about.
That's crazy. So, okay.
Yeah.
Being that you had that dream, right? And it wasn't a destructive dream.
No. I had some crazy destructive ones now.
We're gonna talk about this one.
For real.
We're gonna talk about this one. I take it that you're a spiritual man. You believe
Absolutely.
How much of spirituality do you feel like it was necessary or is necessary for people to weather the storm through the pandemic, and even now coming out of the pandemic? And
100%, it's like the purpose of the pandemic, in my opinion. You see, I feel like God is trying to give everyone a wake-up call, because a lot of times people, when they're out here chasing their dreams and they're so ambitious about what they want for themselves and their future, they don't give the creator of the universe credit for anything he's doing. And a lot of people don't even pray until they're in a crisis. Facts. Think about that.
Facts.
People live their whole lives, and then all of a sudden when something go wrong, hey, God, please, just do this one thing for me. I promise I'll never cuss again. I'll never drink again. I'll never do none of this stuff again.
Yeah.
But why should it have to come to all of that? You're supposed to be the same way in your good times too. Why does he only have to be a God in your life and take charge over your life when things is, jacked up?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be then? He's the same God when you're in your good times and in your bad. And so I think the pandemic was a way of reminding people, like, this is what happens. And if I take my hand away just to show you, you got it, big dog.
Yeah.
You got it. You don't need me, huh? Okay. All right, let me show you just a little taste of what it's like when I remove my hand off your life. Just for a second. I still love you, but I'm going to show you what it's like if I just take my hand off for a second. For a second.
I like that. That's
a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. I think it was funny when it first hit down here. And I was looking like, now keep in mind, I'm gonna tell you what happened with me. And I ain't never tell nobody this ever on no pods. But we had this big old, like, cause me and my wife been in the content for a minute. Like, outside of music, we did. It's a show called the Crawford Family Gang. So we had the kids on there. We always recording
Right.
something. So we always been doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And the year before the pandemic, we had this big old. I'm retiring. You know, letting that job go. Let that job go. We ain't doing no jobs. We good.
Okay.
We, it's real estate, whatever. We popping.
You was feeling yourself.
Yo,
Okay.
just a little bit though, cause I felt rock bottom 2 times before that. So I'm like,
Okay.
I ain't boast, but
Right now you got on your knee pads. You fell in that rock bottom 2 times. You got a little experience.
right. So, it came up and we was just going heavy on like kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels, all that, and then music and same thing back to back to back.
Mhm.
And I saw it start to curve. And then I think it was that October. No, it was that November. The idea of a pandemic. So I was like, okay, God, I don't know.
It was still a rumor back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a rumor.
Yeah.
But I had a few people around me who got sick, and it was just like, yeah, I got this crazy cold. So I was just putting 2 and 2 together, and it went away. The cold for them went away, and then a few months later, I think January, February, it was like, bam, closed down.
That's when I caught it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
January, February, everything shut down. You can't go to nobody's house. Home Depot closed. You ain't getting no material. And I was just like,
Lucky if you get water.
bruh. So at that point, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, all right, I need to see if I could get back to this job.
Right. You mean come back to your job like, you remember me? Listen, I know I said some crazy things when I left out of here, but listen.
But
I'm back.
The superintendent for that job was like, yo, I always told you when you left, like, you always been good. If you need to come back, just come back. I got you. So I was like, all right. I said, I'm going to hold off for another month or 2 and, see how this thing go. This for the state, too. So, how that go. So
let that be a lesson learned for people, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're going to leave, make sure you leave in a nice, clean fashion. So that way, if something were to happen, you didn't burn that bridge. You can still cross back over.
Exactly. So I end up going back out. I waited out for another 2 months. I hit him up. I was like, look, man, I think I'm going to go ahead and come back. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go through the process and get you on back. It felt weird, right? Because I'm kind of like you. I believe in God. I believe that anything's possible. But at that moment, I was like, I got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I was like, and at that time, she was what? She wasn't even 3 yet. She was 1.
When you got that kind of responsibility, you ain't got no room for error.
Exactly.
You got to be sure.
Exactly. The first time I went broke, it was single. The second time I went broke, it was just me and my wife. Now, we got 2 more miles. We can't do that.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
The second time you went broke, was it better than the first time?
Yes. All day.
You had support. You were by yourself.
No, okay, I'm lying. I was still somewhat by myself. Okay, so the first time I went broke was in North Carolina. I had bought my first condo, and that was after a little bit of music success, and then 2008 came and hit. And I lost my joint right around 2009. But then 2010, Eminem came around, and I got the Eminem placement.
Okay.
And then that carried us, and we ended up getting married 2010, moved to Georgia. Then I can't say we spent out. I just didn't pay attention to economics like I do now. Like knowing how money moves, knowing how market works, I didn't pay attention. I was just a music producer. I'm going to go do these sessions. They're going to pay me for some beats, and I'm going to do it again. Then the internet hit.
That was the game changer.
The internet hit, and you go from moving a track for $20,000 to $500.
Okay.
So then, but I'm married now, right?
Right.
Going back to back, and there's some other stuff that went in that I could have invested in. I just didn't at the time. So then everything crashes. I had one lady from our church that let us hold her. I think it was 1997 uh, Ford Explorer.
That's a blessing right there. Somebody
Bruh.
that let you borrow their car, drive their car, have their car. That's love on a
Bruh.
whole different level.
And you gotta think, I got like one family member down here, technically. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have a lot of family in Georgia. So that church member let us hold her car. Every car we had was repoed.
Mm.
I asked another cousin that I knew was kind of well off. I said, "Hey man, I need $500 to move into this house because me and wifey, it's messed up." He
Right.
said, and it was a hard lesson, but it taught me. He said, "All right, well, if I give you this 500, when I'm gonna get it back?" I was like, "Man, shoot, I'm a hustle for a little bit, get these tracks moving, and then I get you out there." He's like, "When?" I couldn't
I
give
need
him
a date.
I couldn't give him a win, and he said, "Why
Mm.
I can't do it." And, but
Man.
but after that, it taught like that. That's when I started my handyman business, and I said, "All right, if I could do this $50 a day, get 500 a week. If I could do a
Yeah,
hundred
you had
dollars,
a goal.
yeah." I just started going hard, and we good now.
But you just made me think about something.
What's that?
See, that's the reason I don't loan people money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I give money. I don't loan it because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to have to owe me back because I already know 90% of the time it's always gonna be something like, oh, I can't do it this time. Oh, this something happened. I had to pay them. No. I'd rather just give it to you so that way I know I'm good. Because
Yeah.
if I loan it to you, see the thing about loaning somebody something, you're going to expect something back
Right.
because that's the dialogue you establish. Like, okay, I'm gonna get this back from you. I'm loaning it to you. So
Mm-hmm.
I always give people stuff. If I can't give it to you, then tough break. But I'm not loaning you a dime. I
Yeah.
don't even want to have to chase you down for it. Because every time I've ever had an experience where I've loaned somebody money, it's always bad. Like we stop talking, you ghost me. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Like you act funny when it's about the money.
Yeah.
You cool as I don't know what, but if we talk about money, remember that? I don't care if it's $20. You remember that $20 I gave you?
Yep.
If it was just $20, bro, you ain't got to ignore my phone calls now. It
Bruh.
was just $20. So
Bruh.
yeah, I'm always a giver, and then plus God blesses you when you
Yeah.
do that. So now I give from the heart because I know God got my back. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? It ain't even about me. It's about planting the seed and letting it grow. So I actually look for those people that really are in binds because it's a blessing of them. And I love the fact that God can put me in a position to be a blessing.
Right.
It's something about elevating. So like when God elevates you to the next level, it's because he really understands that if I bless you with this, you're not going to be selfish. You're going to bless somebody else with it. So
Right.
that's how you continue to get blessed more and more and more because every level, every elevation is allowing you to do more for others. It's not a selfish thing.
Right. Right. That takes me to a question as far as being selfish, right?
Right.
We're we're in the position of providing a platform for people. Um Good or bad, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Is there any content or scenarios that you would not entertain for your platform?
A lot. I mean, where do I
Expound.
start? I got a list. Where do I start?
Okay.
All
Any
right.
of it. Any of it.
Well, I feel like for one, when I have people on the platform, are you talking about special guests or are you just talking about promoting things in general?
All of it. Cause
Okay, well,
okay, and I'll put more context to it. When I first started, my initial thing was, okay, I'm gonna start this pod, and I tried. The crazy thing, I tried to start something. I didn't know that podcasting would exist, but this was probably 8, 9 years ago.
mhm.
I got in front of the camera and I started doing stuff, interviewing people, and as soon as I couldn't find somebody to interview, my content was gone. So this next go round, I started on IG, like Nito's
Right.
Corner. I was like, all right, I'm gonna teach y'all about how the music business works, and I'm gonna teach y'all about publishing. I'm gonna teach y'all about this, and
Right.
that developed to what we got now.
Okay.
But when it's the first little bit of traction started, and I ain't nowhere still, but the first little bit of traction started, it was what was that? A e-cigarette or e-something, and they was like, "Yo, we'll pay you 150 for a drop on the pod." So it's like, huh? If I could do 150 times
Right.
5, it's just a drop, right? I mean, it can't hurt nothing. But then I ran it by wifey. She was like, "You don't even smoke." I was like,
Right. It's not real. It's not
"Yeah,
authentic.
yeah, yeah."
Or when you can do that, you just gotta you gotta make sure the listener understands this is not you. This is a sponsorship. This is an ad. Let them know up front, so that way they can make their decision. It's not based on your influence or your input. It's based on if that's something they would really use or not.
Okay,
Now, if I would actually do that, probably not. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? 'Cause I see people get some crazy. I don't know why. Is it just podcasts? But we get the weirdest like sponsorships. Like I want you to be I want to promote my condoms on your platform. Like
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Like
Now,
why?
okay. Now for that, and that's kind of why I broke my pod into 2 different versions. So the
Yeah.
one that we got now is the lucrative lounge. Mad Lucrative, the regular one is me and the white guy, and we kind of go back and forth, current events, some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would promote certain things on that one because it's kind of general. On this one, I almost don't want to promote nothing.
Right.
I want it to be authentic to the
This show
brand.
presses gem right
Right,
here.
right,
I got it.
right. So it's like I think a lot of brands don't know, like they know that pods are the next line for influence, and
Mm-hmm.
TV and radio is kind of gonna take the short end of the stick. So they just know they gotta put some money somewhere. So you know,
You know why though?
why is
It's
that?
because a lot of people are on their phones nowadays. And
Mm,
so traditional television is like a thing of the past. I mean, for someone to actually sit in their living room and watch a show and catch it at the time it comes on every day, I
yeah,
mean, that's old school at this point. Everyone's streaming. I
facts,
don't have to watch it when it's released. I'm gonna catch it right here on my phone. And
big
so when people
facts.
are consuming content, the way we consume it is so different than people were consuming it 10, 15 years ago. You remember before live was a thing? Live was TV only. You get
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like there was no other way to access live content other
yeah,
than the television. Now technology has grown so crazy. Everybody who has a phone can go live. Like that's
that's true.
that's really mind blowing when you think about it.
Right.
It was an exclusive club if you went live, and you had to be on a major TV network. You
Mm.
know, so things is different now. So a lot of people are finding different ways to get creative and you know uh, capitalize on that.
Do you think that we'll get to a point of, I don't want to say destruction, but detriment?
Absolutely,
Okay,
100%.
okay. Um,
That's because the Bible told us so.
yeah.
I read my Bible and I believe my Bible, and the Bible says some things in Revelation that will get a lot of people shook nowadays.
What the thing? Okay, I don't know if you heard it yet, but the Kendrick album, right,
No, I haven't heard it,
dude? Okay,
and it's on purpose. I don't like it because it's disrespectful. There it is. I said it.
it's disrespectful.
It's, yup.
Enlighten me.
I ain't one of these little fish that just swim in a pond with everybody else. All right.
Okay.
I'll let you know right now. The cover art was disrespectful. If I can't get
Mm.
jiggy with the cover art, I know I'm not gonna get jiggy with the lyrics. Because what I didn't like from what I've observed, because
Mm-hmm.
people have been talking about it like crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen a comment earlier today where someone, and now correct me if I'm wrong, because I did not listen
Okay.
to the album. But if I'm correct, there was one song, I don't know the name of it, where he was pretty much saying that Jesus is no longer worried about us, so we got to save ourselves. Come
I'm
on,
trying
man.
to
How
think of that record.
disrespectful is that if your cover art already, you don't already cross the line when you got the crown of thorns on?
Mm.
So for a true believer in Christ, I'm real disrespected by that cover art. Cover art. Now, there's a lot of people that claim to be Christian. There's a lot of people that claim to be about that life. That's really not about that life, and they supporting the album because they gummy bear Christians.
Okay.
See, we call those people gummy bear Christians because they claim it, but they ain't living it. You get what I'm saying? So, but when you really living it, you understand that there's certain things that's already, it's a no-go.
It's off limits.
It's off limits.
Yeah.
And so unless you a true believer in Christ, you're not gonna really understand that. A lot of people gonna be like, "Oh, it's just imagery.
That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I'm about to say.
It's just it's not that deep. It's not that serious. Everything about Jesus is serious to me."
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm really about that life. But a lot of people not really about that life, and they just say it because it sounds good, or because their parents kind of brought them up in that lifestyle, or it's, well, everyone that's black is Christian, right? Or, so I believe you, but they don't really have that real relationship with Christ. So it's a disconnect there. And so that's why I call it's like two categories. Shout out to my brother Marcus Rogers, by the way. It's a dope pastor / artist.
Okay.
He really broke it down. So the whole gummy bear Christianity is really an analogy he uses. So I kind of adopted that into my philosophy of thinking as well. Okay. So I always like to give credit to the source in case someone be like, "Hey, did he come over there? That was weird." No, I always give credit to when it's due. I give it to the source because I think it's a dope concept, because gummy bear Christianity is like that fake Christianity. It's soft.
Right.
It's like, "Oh, we're not going to talk about this. We don't want to hurt your feelings. I understand that hell is in the Bible, but we're not going to talk about that. All dogs go to heaven."
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's that gummy bear Christianity. All dogs go to heaven, regardless of what they did.
Right.
There's no accountability there. But that real belief, it's accountability there. It's all over the Bible. People skip over it.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about your blessings. We want to talk about your breakthroughs.
Nobody.
We ain't gonna talk about the other stuff. So that's just me personally. I think the cover art was very disrespectful. That's just me. You probably won't hear nobody say that.
And that's what I'm about to say.
A lot of people, they like fish swim in the same pond. They all supporting the same idea and same concept because they're afraid to stand out and be different. I embrace being different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's cool with me because at least I can be true to self. A lot of people, they feel a certain type of way, but they don't voice their opinion because they're afraid of being canceled. That's me for you though.
I'm with you on the line, on the level of not really caring about being canceled.
Yeah.
Because I I made a few statements, and I didn't retract. I actually doubled down on it, and a lot of I'm not gonna repeat the statement.
Go ahead. It's your podcast. You gonna get canceled on your own show? Go ahead. Let them have it.
But no, so okay, my version of what we saw, and I'm gonna go back to the Kendrick part because I like that point of view. I haven't heard it. I like it. I think what was different for me is all right. So being in the music business,
right?
You
know all about it.
And then you got to think who I was with.
Right.
They already call him.
You know all
man.
about it. You know all about
50, it. They already call. So in the business, and I don't think I've ever put that out there. I'll let people know though. It's called. We call it drinking the juice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look, I know some of my music folk will be like, "Bro, no, bro."
Keep it real, man. Keep it real. Tell them this is what we do. This is what we do.
But no,
worried about it.
And I kind of learned about the term. I'm gonna say probably 08, 09, right around the first broke period. But I was in New York doing a session, and they were talking about people that was like out of here, like mega stars, and we don't use Illuminati term like it's that kind of don't exist in our realm. It's just how much juice
Right.
did you drink? And the
Mm-hmm.
juice is the level of celebrity that we see, that the general public sees. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, you look at him, oh yeah, he must have drunk all the juice. He drank the whole cup. You look at somebody like Push, anybody on that level,
Mm-hmm.
they just drunk about a quarter of the cup. They ain't drink the whole cup because they still aware, right?
But if it's Drake or Jay-Z or
They drunk the whole
Beyonce,
cup. The whole
they
cup.
drank the gallon. They went swimming in it.
The whole joint. So I saw that, or I heard that term in my first pub deal. I went to a conference, and
Mm-hmm.
that was in New York. And I've never been a juice drinker. That's kind of why things kind of slowed down on the music business side for me.
So
I
you got a cup, but it's empty because you ain't gonna get a cup unless you're in the same building.
and you
So
in the
you got
same,
a cup, which is empty. You ain't drink no juice.
you ain't drinking the juice. So I remember, and the juice that I had or was offered was in the department of meetup. You know, we got so and so going on tonight. You just need to come through. Let's chop it up. This and that. And I
Mm-hmm.
read the room quick. I read everybody everything real quick, and I'm like, all right, I know what this look like. I know what it sound like. I'm good. I pass.
Yeah.
And after that, phone stopped working.
I'm quite sure you understand that there is gonna come a path where you're gonna have to make a choice. And in the industry, you definitely understand when you're at that intersection of
Yeah.
your career, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, if you want to continue to go this way, we got you, but there's a big but right here. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to do X, Y, Z to get to that next level. But
Right.
once you get there, I promise you,
You good.
this is a sure thing.
Yep.
And then the
And
other ways to say no and you go on your own and whatever happens, happens.
exactly. And when I look back at my peer group that was in the cup suggested courts,
Mm-hmm.
one of them may have been Mustard. One of them may have been Ty Dollar. I'm gonna say may have been because I'm insinuating. I'm not saying it is, but
Allegedly.
and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, I've never been there. I grew up Christian. My granddaddy was a pastor, all that stuff. I
Right.
just can't do certain. I can't feel good doing certain things.
Right.
Knowing that I'm letting imagery get into the music that whatever long dark hole that we could go down with that. So
Right.
back to your point of view with Kendrick's album, I can appreciate that.
Absolutely. And I hope you understand that the way the industry, from what I collect, operates is the more disrespectful you are to Jesus, specifically speaking,
Mm-hmm.
the more elevated you are as a artist or a career. It's the
Yeah.
only faith, because I don't have religion. I believe in relationship, not religions.
Right.
I feel like religions are traditions and are man-made rules, according
Yeah.
to what they decide to follow. But anyway, I feel like the more you disrespect the faith, the more you disrespect the people that believe in Christ, the more that you are accepted in the world. And you'll notice that a lot of people that's on the top tier have made some of the most disrespectful references to God specifically.
Yeah.
It don't matter. You can look at Jay-Z, you can look at Beyonce, you can look at anybody major that's on that top level of fame in the music industry, and you can find a reference that is mad disrespectful.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't accept that, and they're gummy bear Christians. They're gummy bear. You have to be blind to not see the obvious. And that's not me trying to call out everybody, because I ain't scared of nobody. Straight up.
I mean,
I
you like you
I
about
ain't
six
scared of
five, so
nobody.
you like you about 6'5", so I ain't.
And it ain't me though. It ain't me though. It's really the God I serve. You know what I'm saying? I really know who I'm rolling with. Ain't nobody on this level. Nobody.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I can talk that talk because I'm about that life. You
Okay.
get what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't about that life, so they don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But I'm about that life. So I encourage people, if you wanna really test the God I serve, you gotta remember this is the same God that flooded the whole planet. just to show where he working with. This is the same God that sent the devil down like a bolt of lightning.
Yeah.
Who thought he was bad and running things down here now. So I say all of that to say that you really don't want no smoke over here. You feel me? You don't want none of this.
I like that.
You know.
Now let's go broad for a little second.
Okay.
And I ain't gonna have you on too long. I know we said about
you good. Hey, we talking about that real talk. I can do that all day.
All right, cool. So seeing how everything is kind of developing, like you said, where people are going to the phones 1st actually going to the phones before they go to any type of Christian or not even just Christian, any belief is like secondary. Right. It's all vanity. It's all vanity now.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think we can take Podden to curb some of that vanity?
Explain your question a little bit more specifically in detail so that way I know I'm answering the right thing.
Okay. So, for instance, and I don't like to put no names out because I know some of these people.
We scared?
No, I need some of these relationships, dog.
He said, I ain't trying to burn no bridges. I still got to walk after this interview.
But no, okay.
Hey, this is what happened when two podcast hosts get together, man. It's like, he answering questions, I'm asking questions too.
Exactly. So, okay, so we're looking at, that's what I do. I go broad. So we got, in New Jersey, we got Joe Budden. And a lot of these pods I listen to, I like how they maneuver and control interviews, whatever. But you got Joe Budden, you got Gems and Rants, you got EYL, you got a lot of the pods that's geared towards current culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not necessarily direction. It's just giving information and collect on the views.
Mm-hmm.
Giving information, collect on the subscriptions. So I'm saying, like, the people like us that don't mind, throwing Christ, throwing Jesus, whatever, into a conversation. How can we make that a little bit more dominant?
Well, here's the thing. We live in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where a lot of people are involved in a lifestyle that God does not approve of, for starters.
Okay.
So when you have a lot of people that are living that lifestyle, they want to hang around like-minded individuals.
Okay.
Hence why people go to the club, turn up. They don't even know half of the people that's in the club. They don't care. They know that this person is drinking, I'm drinking, let's turn up. You know what I'm saying? They don't care if they really know you or not. It's just, I like being around people that want to do the same things I want to do. If I want to drink right now, I'm going to the club because everyone in the club is drinking. You know what I'm saying? So It's the energy that people really want to be around. So I say all of that to say this. We live in a world where the Bible already told us the path that leads to destruction is broad, it's wide.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a lot of people on that. I call it Broad Street or Main Street. It's going to be a lot of people on Main Street. And that's just the economy. That's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about being more dominant because there is no competition between the two because we know who's going to have the final say.
Right.
So it's really not a competition. It's called free will. So God is allowing people to have their free will, and so if you're deep down inside, you want to be like that and that's how you want to get down, well, you're going to have a lot of people with that same attitude, that same mindset.
Yeah.
So it's going to be that way, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's going to be that way. Yeah.
Harsh.
That's all facts. I mean, that's facts. It ain't got nothing to do. It ain't no competition. It's just God gave us free will. He's not going to come down here and say, do not go to that club.
That's true.
You want to go to the club? He's going to say, go ahead. And I'm not, and I know you in the music industry. See, listen to that talk now. A
Yeah.
lot of people are like, hold on, please don't say nothing else bad about the club, please.
But no, the thing,
Listen,
but see,
it's go ahead.
the funny thing is, even in that statement alone, right? I've never, even when I was at the most active in the business, I hated clubs. I hated
Right.
meetups. Even now, I know it's certain spaces I have to be in
Hmm.
to carry the brand. I just
True.
I just don't like. I'm okay with being at the house with the family,
Of course.
watching movies and eat some Chinese food or whatever. I'm good with that.
Right.
But if I want to, I guess, retire at some point and pull a Dave Ramsey and just be talking to people on a consistent basis, I got to make certain relationships happen.
Right. But do you know the main reason people go to the club
Nah, I
is
don't.
to feed their ego. The club
Mm,
is the one place you can go where you feel like if I'm somebody, they're gonna notice me.
no, that.
I walk through the door, they better say my name.
Yo, okay, I got a funny story too, and I'm not, I can we can be on here all day, but so it's a prominent rapper from where I'm from, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had a meetup was scheduled, and again, I don't like clubs. I don't like mass groups of people. Even in
Right.
church, I don't want to be in a big church. I don't. I just don't.
Right.
Not my thing.
Right.
But uh, if I say who lined it up, then it'll be too specific. But
Okay.
a promoter lined it up, and he was like, "Yo, I think it'd be good if you and so come meet up at the club. You just got your Grammy. He just did his deal over at so, and
Mm-hmm.
let's do it."
Right.
I'm not a stand down type of guy. I'm gonna be nice. I'm never confrontational unless that's what I'm approached with.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, the artist made me. He was like, I said, "What's up?" Like we talking, like I'm like I'm feeling like it's about to be kindred spirits. What's up, bro? Let's do this, bro.
Right.
Looked at me up and down like that, and like, yo, did the head nod, walked off. I was like, okay, cool.
Did you take it as disrespect?
Uh, at that time, at that point, no, it was
Okay.
disrespect when they tried to line up a session, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good. I do my joints and this and that." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay." And then ran across him again in New York. Keep in mind, we from the same city.
Mm-hmm.
Shade, the same shade that was at the club was at in the street. So I was like, "Okay, I respect you for that, but nah, we can't. That level of disrespect, no." And then
Yeah, man.
they went on to do their thing, uh, and it is what it is.
I mean, I used to care about stuff like that. I really did. Like, back in the day, as far as like you feel like you want to have a certain kind of recognition. But once I realized like my validation where it stands, I don't need it from nobody else. It really doesn't matter to me as much as it used to.
Yeah,
Now, on the flip side of that, I used to get upset when I would go out my way to show people love and they don't do the same thing in return.
yeah,
Cause that's so like rude. Like,
exactly.
bro, I really came up to you to shake your hand. Now you want
Exactly.
to flex and be like, "Ugh, peasant."
Yo,
What?
yo. So okay, now at 38, I don't feel none of that. Like now, it's all
Right,
about legacy and building this for my kids and whatever. But then
right.
before the marriage, I was like, oh nah, like that level of disrespect. And then I had goons in my crew that was like, all right, well shoot, let me handle that. I was like,
Like,
cool,
nah,
do your
bro,
thing.
fall back.
Nah, cool, go do.
You, you was that's how you was feeling. Oh, hey, excuse me, Heavenly Father, we come to you today humbly.
Yeah.
This man right here don't
Yo,
know what he said.
yeah. But nah, yo, that's
Nah, it's all good. We have those moments.
yeah, now it's a whole different level of growth.
It's
Um,
maturity though. I mean, like we grow. That's a good thing,
yeah,
Because there's a lot of times you find yourself in situations you be like, if I was a younger version of myself, boy, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you and them talking. You ever had those conversations with yourself?
Yep.
That comes when you become mature.
Yeah.
You have a lot of conversations with yourself. A lot of people don't hear.
The-
Like you, sometimes you be like, "Ooh, boy, you just don't know." Ooh, and then you really like back in the day, you probably would have said it, but you understand now that you might have a lot more responsibility, and you know you care more about your future. It's more than just yourself. Because a lot of times, a lot of people, I find the hardest person to get in an argument with is a person that don't care about nothing.
Okay.
So you can't force somebody to care. Like if you don't care about nothing, you just don't care.
Truth moment. All right, so
Right.
I got worse.
Oh, now you're worse?
No,
I can't tell.
No, okay, so what happened was I was
He said what happened was. That's how you know it was about to get real.
No. I was somewhat of a pushover. Just a little bit, right? I always wanted to make sure people was good and this and that. I remember going broke trying to help. So like that downfall that I was telling you about, that happened because I was trying to help XYZ help out. It did.
Gotcha.
Right? And then when it wasn't reciprocated, I remember it's funny. My grandmother, I called her because I was like, look, we kind of broke. I'm gonna need a little bit of bread, we trying to do whatever. She said, well, I send you some. It's after I'm married too. So think about that. Think about that ego. I'm married. With
supposed
that,
to be the provider.
Right. With that responsibility, I call her. I say, look, yeah, I'm a little bit down, whatever. She said, I send you some money if you move back to North Carolina. You move back, I got you. You don't move back, then it's on you.
With the wife and the kid?
Huh? Just with the wife. No kid yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Right? Click. I said, oh, okay. That was
that was it.
Yeah, so for all of that, and then me getting it out the mud, doing some illegal jobs here and there. Not super illegal.
Allegedly.
No, it was illegal.
I don't know what this guy's talking about, man.
No, it was just, you know how you see the we buy junk cars on the side of the expressway?
Yeah.
I was one of them dudes to go and
hey, look, I ain't part of this conversation, man. I don't know what y'all talking about over here today.
I
just met this guy. I do not know what he's talking about. I was not part of none of that stuff.
It was years ago, bro. So
that don't mean what's the statute of limitations where you at?
Yo, now
you see what they own.
Yeah, I see. You know exactly what they own down here. But
yeah.
Now it made me tougher, and I appreciate that.
Right.
I was super spiritual at one point, and keep in mind I played at church from 6th grade all the way up to 35 roughly. Church every weekend, playing MD, whatever. And I remember one episode when we were at the rock bottom, and I was like, yeah, I just need to pray about getting this money and whatever. I looked at my wife.
Ooh.
My wife said, Negro, you need to get a job. What you praying for? Get a job.
Right.
And for me, I needed that wake up call to be more aggressive and being focused.
Right.
So it worked good. Now that ain't take nothing away from, how I depend on God for everything, but putting it in perspective. Every time it's a big win, it's not my big win. I won because I got this relationship right here with God.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it, bro. That's it. No more junk car signs.
I got you. I still don't know what you're talking about, but I understand. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. We all come from somewhere, man. That's just your part of your story. One thing I've learned is recent. I've learned this, and I say recent. See, my whole life is different. Like I feel like when they say you born again, like I really feel like a whole new creature because I feel like the old me died on that ventilator, and I feel like the new person I've become. I wish I would have had this mindset before then. Like I wish it didn't take for me to almost die and lose everything to have this mindset. But that goes to show that every single one of us has a story. Right. The reason nobody else is just like you is because nobody else can be the main character in your book.
Mm. That's
You're
a
the main
bar.
character in your life.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Now everything else is like a supporting character or that villain or that extra. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? But you are the main character.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And God, He's the author.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with this?
That's good.
So when you realize that you're part of a story and you're just going through chapters of your life, but you're not the author of those chapters.
Yeah.
God knows the whole book. So when
Mm.
you're praying, it's almost like asking God, like, I know you know what's coming next in my life. I'm just asking for a little bit of guidance. I'm just asking for a little bit of help. Help me get there. And that's why it's so important to remember that God won't give you more than you can bear because He wrote your book.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
He knows if I do this, you're going to die tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when it means, what it really means, He won't give you more than you can bear. He also knows He can put you through a lot of stuff, but you're going to learn a lesson that's going to help you get to the next chapter.
Boy, he'll push you through it too.
You get what I'm saying? But you're going to learn a lesson. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
He knew I wasn't going to die on that ventilator, but He allowed it to happen so I can learn that lesson about life.
Yeah.
That experience taught me something. That experience taught me something I would never have been able to learn unless I was put through those extreme circumstances.
Mm.
It's like pressure create diamonds, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to go through extreme circumstances that's going to separate you. It's going to be an experience that is like no other.
That's
And
true.
that is because you are the main character in your book. So you're going to go through something that the supporting cast ain't going to go through.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what separates you. You know, that's why you're important. The main character is the most important piece to any story an author writes or director or whoever.
Yeah.
That is the main piece because that's going to put everything together and make it make sense.
Right.
So in your story, you are the main piece.
Yeah.
And then in your wife's story, she is the main piece. And then you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everyone is the main piece in their own story. So that's important to remember, man, because I always look at those obstacles in my life and embrace them now because I know if they're there so I can elevate to the next level. It's a lesson that I need to learn in this situation that I'm going to need for my next step that I'm going to. Because when you survive something, it's something about when you like the hardest, the toughest guys, when they go through things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, a lot of people call it trauma. So when you go through trauma in your life, they different.
Yeah.
They just
It
different.
is.
They're not the same. Like for an example, you ever see someone that's always paranoid?
Yeah.
They're paranoid because they done gone through something that you have not. So you lack that sense of awareness. You lack that alertness because
Mm-hmm.
you haven't been put in that situation.
Yeah.
Now, this person that had been a ward and had bullets flying over his head, he hearing stuff. He hearing the cars drive down the street. He hear the brakes when they hit and squeeze. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you like, yo, you tripping, dog. It's just another car. But you got to understand, he been through something. That experience has changed him. So now his alertness for that situation or scenario is on 1,000 while you still stuck at 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I just say that because that's important for a lot of people to understand that we all go through things in life because we're not the author of our story, but it may be a lesson that we need to learn.
Yeah. That's good, bro. I love that. I love that. We're wrapping up. I want to make sure before we end everything, tell people what you want them to know, what anything you want them to follow, anything that you want them to patronize. What is it?
Man, first of all, I just want to give credit to God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I want to say it's cool to be a Christian, man. It's not lame. It's not trash. Don't let nobody fool you because a lot of the stuff is filtered that you see. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know it's some dope hip hop music out there. It's some dope hip hop artists that are Christian, that are promoting the kingdom, that's not promoting violence, drugs, and all that stuff. But to say all of that is to also say, you know, it's fine. Be you. Be different. Don't be like everybody else because, as you know, that is not. There's nothing cool about that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to sound like everyone else, you want to be like everyone else, you're just gonna get the same result from everyone else.
Yeah.
But if you want to stand out from the crowd and you really want to make a difference, you're gonna have to do things that are different. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
So as far as following me, man, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, iHeartRadio. It's King Legend 757 on all platforms. You look up King Legend Talks to get my podcast.
Okay.
And special announcement Monday, I have London Brown coming through. So if you're a fan of Raising Cannon, on the Stars,
yeah,
executive produced by 50 Cent, all that cool stuff.
Yep.
He'll be on the platform 7 o'clock on Monday. King Legend Talks, y'all.
There we go. I like that. Hey, bro, I'm gonna make sure I send you all my info. I love to do that at the end of every pod because I ain't gonna lie. I want to do some type of like big meetup for everybody. More so the Lucrative Lounge, guess, but a big meetup, just appreciation, bro. Because I appreciate y'all. That's beautiful.
Sounds good to me. Let me know when I need to get my flight ready.
All right, sound good, bro. I'll holler at you. It's not just a network, man. It's a network, man.